Welcome, everyone. Today is the day that you learn how to tell your story. Your story is yours to tell, not anyone else's. You don't have to gloss over anything, and you don't have to make it look pretty or happy or sad or anything else. You are welcome to tell your story any way you want. First, we're going to start with identifying your story, and then we're going to use it for good. So the beginning of identifying your story means that you need to know the high points and the low points, the big spaces in your story that are landmarks. So I'm going to talk you through how to find your landmarks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start thinking back through your lifetime. Do the best that you can. You may not know your birthplace or your birth date, and that's okay. You may not remember your elementary school. Or if you had some traumatic events, you may not even remember significant relationships. Do the best you can and just mark down what you know right off. If you can think of another significant, factual life event that doesn't fit on here, absolutely write it in. Again, this is your story. For example, I could mark the day that I was ordained or the day that I was board certified. Either of those might be a big event in someone's life. Next, I want you to create your timeline. So you're going to take a sheet of paper or several, and you're going to just draw a very long line. I want you to write out in line form where your events fall in place. This is where it's particularly helpful if you have written out a list, especially from date order. As you continue thinking about what falls into line on the factual space, I want you to start thinking about the other ideas that pop up in your mind. Did you have a major car accident? Did you have a friend that moved that really impacted your life? Did a grandparent die? Or did you get a new job? Think about pivotal moments that were in your life. You can insert these in your timeline wherever it fits. So between your birth and now, you probably had some significant things that changed your life. I want you to think about the highlights, not the full picture. I want you to think about the things that changed how you viewed the world. If I think about when my uncle passed away, then I started thinking about my family differently. Who did I want to connect with that I might not have an opportunity to again? And I started thinking about how I could connect in a unique way. My uncle I couldn't see in person for a variety of reasons, but I absolutely connected with him over Facebook Messenger. Now I can think through how to connect with other family members or other people that are friends that are really helpful to have in my journey. It doesn't always have to be face-to-face to be meaningful. In this next section, I want you to think about how you color your story, and I want you to actually color on your paper. If you have any different colors, highlighters, crayons, colored pencils, it does not have to be perfect. But go ahead and mark the sad times blue or green or orange, whatever you associate with sad. Then I want you to mark the happy times with yellow or whatever color you associate with happy. Those will help you see where your highs and lows are coming from. Now, if you have clinical depression, the highs and lows might not be as clear as they would be for other people. But I trust you to know when you felt your best and when you felt your worst. If you do not have anything to color with, that's okay. Go ahead and use an icon. Use a smiley face or a frowny face. You can use a cross to notate when things were going well spiritually, or you can use a star, whatever is important for you. Remember, there are no rules except for the ones that you make. This is your story to tell. Tell it in a way that makes sense to you. I want you to also use this time to reflect on how you feel about the events now. That means that you can change your mind. Even if you experienced one event with sadness when you were younger, you may look back on it in a reflective way now and see some spaces of joy. If I use the example of my uncle, I had my most beloved uncle, and his name was Mel. He changed my life when he sat down with me and had a conversation about finances. What is important to me? How do I change my life trajectory? How do I change what it was in my family that said you need to work and work and work, but you don't save? He changed that generationally, and I get to change that too because my uncle showed me a different path. I want to be that person who can change the path of my children as well. I also want you to think about how not every story will bring warm and fuzzies to you. For example, it was so hard to watch my mom suffer her illness. It changed the way I see healthcare. That doesn't bring a warm and fuzzy feeling. That brings the thought that something went wrong and it was hard to watch. But that can be a pivotal, life-changing moment. I decided that I was going to become a doctor because of what I saw and how my mom suffered. Or I decided that I absolutely will not ever go to the doctor because of how my mom suffered. Those are two very different responses to the same pivotal moment. Notice what you're thinking. So, for example, in the story of my mom suffered horribly at the hands of healthcare. When I start realizing how I'm feeling about it, then I can say, my mom had a rough experience, but that isn't my experience. I've had really great physicians, and I've had really kind people that have listened to me when I've talked. That's important to me. Let me think about how I'm going to engage healthcare, knowing my mom's story, but also knowing mine. Now I can think and I can change how I'm responding instead of being caught up in the emotion. Now, this is a space where a lot of people get hung up. So I want to encourage you, if you are getting hung up as well, what are you allowed to share? You're allowed to share anything that you've experienced. If somebody treated you poorly, you can share that. If somebody treated you well, you can share that. If you yourself have experienced whatever the event is, you've been present in it, and it's changed your life, tell your story. It is absolutely yours. So think about your timeline, line it out. You can either do a list or you can do a timeline that you can visually see. I want you to mark each thing as relevant to you with icons or with colors. And then I want you to start thinking about your story. Think about the facts and think about where the feelings fall in. Then you can start making reasonable, rational decisions about where you want to go next in your life. I encourage you to continue moving forward. You're doing great.